Hello everyone, Earl Henderson and Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on and better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
On the morning of May 8, 2022, a use of deadly force occurred on the 1000 block of 15th Street in Wasco, California. The following presentation is intended to help bring context to the facts surrounding this case. The following presentation contains a map of the location, emergency phone call audio, body-worn camera video, and photos of the scene. Some of the audio and video has been edited to protect the privacy of the victims involved and to avoid the release of information that state law prohibits the sheriff's office from releasing. The redactions and edits do not affect the depiction of events presented in this video. Some of the audio and visuals we are about to present may be disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. On May 8, 2022 at 6:52 a.m., Kern County Sheriff's Office received a call reporting a collision on the intersection of 15th Street and Broadway Street in Wasco, California.
Sheriff's Office.
There's a drunk driver that just crashed against my truck.
Are they still there?
Yeah, they're trying to leave, but my brother and some other guys stopped him, but he's really drunk.
Deputies were dispatched to the scene at 6:54 a.m. Eyewitness reports indicate that the subject was attempting to push the vehicle away from the scene. As deputies pulled behind the subject's vehicle, the subject exited the driver's side door armed with an AR-15 style rifle. The suspect attempted to shoot at deputies by pulling the trigger. The deputies were still in their patrol vehicle and were faced with an immediate threat of death or serious bodily injury. Although the suspect pulled the trigger, the gun did not fire. The deputy had no other reasonable option to stop the deadly threat than to use the patrol vehicle as a means of deadly force.
Yes.
The following is footage from a department-issued body-worn camera of a deputy on scene. Please note, the body camera does not capture everything the deputy sees, and the deputy does not see everything the body camera captures. The suspect aims his rifle at deputies at this moment, and the deputy accelerates in an attempt to stop the suspect's deadly behavior.
Oh my fuck! Oh shit!
As the deputy accelerated, the suspect moved, placing the suspect's vehicle between he and the deputy's vehicle. The deputy did not strike the suspect with his vehicle and drove past the suspect, creating distance from the suspect.
Subject's armed with a rifle. Subject's headed westbound on 15th. Rifle.
Alright. So, they pull up on scene. Shitbag pulls out a rifle and points it at him. And the deputy accelerates the vehicle to try and drive him over. That is exactly what I recommend when it comes to vehicle tactics. If you can use your vehicle to run somebody over, that is a lot more effective option, in my opinion, than trying to start blasting through the windshield. Blasting through the windshield looks all super cool and shit, but realistically, I mean, it's not that great of an option. Glass, laminate glass, when your bullet passes through it, that's going to cause deviation. So you could be the best shot in the world, and you aim your gun through that windshield, you got good front sight focus, you got good trigger control. That shot goes off, that bullet hits that windshield, that windshield's affecting it. It may go up, it may go down, it may go to the left, it may go to the right. It's going somewhere, or is deviating in some way like that. It's not going to go completely straight as if it would if it didn't hit anything in between in the target. The closer the target is to the vehicle, the more likely you're able to hit the target. But as you start moving the target away, and even if it's only 21 feet from the front of the car, you're not likely to hit that damn target at all. So even if you put the target right there at the bumper and you're aiming dead square center, at a bullseye, it's going to be off. You're not going to be able to peg that bullseye when you fire through that windshield. Move it back just a little bit, it becomes a lot more noticeable. So the trick to shooting through the windshield is to put your rounds through that same hole. That way, all the other rounds that you fire are not going through laminate glass. Shooting through the windshield is if your vehicle is immobilized and the threat is right there on top of you, and you haven't got time to try and egress from the vehicle. Other than that, if your vehicle is able to move, use that vehicle. Run the motherfucker over. Or create distance. So this deputy attempted to run the guy over, was unsuccessful, but he was still able to use the vehicle to create distance. That way they can get into a position to dismount and then re-engage from there. Trying to get out of the car right then and there is probably not going to work for them. They're probably going to get ate up with rounds. Luckily, the bad guy had something going on with the rifle where he did not fire. If they did have a working gun, then we would probably be looking at a line of duty death kind of video here. So they've dismounted. I don't know how far from the thing, but they've dismounted from the vehicle. That officer said, "Get your rifle out." That's good. That's a good mindset to have. That's oftentimes one of my biggest complaints when it comes to these videos. Officers not getting their rifles out when they need to be getting them out. So they recognize the fact that this is now a gunfight and they need rifles. Rifles dominate gunfights. That's the only way to put it, and there's no arguing that. You can't, I don't care what you say, you're wrong. Rifles dominate over pistols. If you know you're going to a gunfight, bring a rifle and bring all your friends with rifles. Rifles are more accurate, they have a longer barrel on them, and you have more points of contact with that weapon. A pistol, you have a very short barrel, and you only got 2 points of contact with it. That's it. Aside from that, the terminal ballistics is really the shining point. Rifle cartridges are devastating in comparison to pistol. You can incapacitate a target a lot faster with a rifle than you can a pistol. There's a lot of people who get up after being shot with pistol who are still walking around today who've been shot with pistol. There's not that many who are still walking around today who've been shot with rifles. Alright, here we go.
I'm gonna come and see what's going on around this corner over here.
The suspect then fled on foot into a nearby residential neighborhood where the deputy lost sight of the suspect. The suspect discarded the AR-15 style rifle as he fled from deputies on foot and was located in the front yard of a nearby residence. After locating the suspect's firearm, the deputy found the rifle had sustained a malfunction and the chamber was jammed. The deputy proceeded to unload the rifle to make it safe. The suspect, identified as Edgar Medina, age 20, was located a short time later attempting to flee the area and was placed under arrest without incident.
Huh. Yeah, fuck that shit. That motherfucker would not be standing to get cuffed. His ass would be proned out on the fucking ground. Like, what the fuck is this Mickey Mouse shit? Yeah, hell no. So they took off after him, or tried searching for him, and he fled through houses, and that creates a bit of a problem because once you lose sight of someone, you don't know what they've done past that point. You don't know if they've stopped, taken a position of cover, and are waiting for you to come around that corner to ambush you. So most places have it in their policies that if you're in hot pursuit, you're chasing someone, you lose sight of them, you just don't go blindly running into the area where they went because they could have set up an ambush for you. That's where you hold off, hold your position, wait till more people get there, set up containment, and then start methodically searching at that point. So we don't get to see what they did after they lost sight of him. All we saw was the officer pick up the rifle, and then he ended up clearing it, which we didn't see from there. The malfunction, I'm really curious to know what kind of malfunction occurred with the rifle. Did the round not go all the way into the breech? Was it partially in there? Was it too much gunk? He didn't clean it enough. Did he somehow get a double feed when he was trying to load this thing? I'm really curious to know what it was. Unfortunately, they don't show us anything to let us know. So this dude's in a standing position. Why the fuck he's in a standing position, I don't know. I don't think that's right. This dude attempted to kill peace officers. Guns should have been pointed at him, have him prone out, have him eat the fucking ground, and then go up and approach and cuff him. He could have more weapons on him at this point. This coming up to him and having him stand and try and cuff him up this way, that's way, way, way too fucking dangerous. This dude has already proved himself to be a deadly threat. He needs to be treated as a deadly threat. Prone his ass out. And this shit, using double cuffs. Like, I understand that some people are fat, but nah. You can make it work on this motherfucker. Fuck him. He tried to kill 2 police officers. Fucking let him deal with being cuffed with 1 set of cuffs. Don't give him that kind of comfort. Especially if he's wanting to fucking kill people, he could more easily slip the cuffs this way. Hell no. They're being too kind to this son of a bitch.
Deputies found Medina sustained injuries to his arms consistent with jumping fences during his attempt to flee. Medina was transported to an area hospital where he was evaluated and treated for his injuries. The suspect did not sustain any injuries from the use of deadly force. Medina was booked into Kern County Central Receiving Facility on multiple charges, including attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and felon in possession of a firearm.
Felon, yeah.
Here's a closer look at the weapon the suspect attempted to fire at deputies, along with rounds located in his vehicle.
Alright, so what do we have? It appears to be a polymer lower. I don't know for sure what this is. There's just so many AR-15 things out there. I mean, it's almost like the AK now. Like, fucking everyone makes one. So it's so hard to know which piece comes from where. I'm not familiar with the little skull and looks like crosshairs or whatever. I have no idea what the hell this is. But it looks like plastic. It looks like a polymer lower. No idea who the upper could be. We do see an amend to magazine. These are cheaper magazines, typically used by people who use cheap AR pieces. And I don't want to trash too much some of these other names out there. Like, a lot of people get on this bandwagon of saying all Anderson ARs are trash or blah 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 blah. The lower, to me, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. It's just a fucking lower piece that houses the trigger. Now, the trigger that comes from them may be shit, but if you just get the lower itself and you put in like a Bravo Company trigger group in there, or some other trigger in there, and it's probably not going to matter. People talk about quality control. There's been some bad batches and stuff. Yeah, probably. But I know quite a few people who have some Anderson lowers that they've put different uppers onto, no problems. Now, when you start getting to uppers and bolts and stuff like that, yeah, I do think a lot of that does matter where you get them from. But some of the stuff, it just I don't get too deep into brand boy kind of stuff. Now, other things I will, like this sight that's on top of it, fucking junk. That's a piece of shit. Like, that belongs on a BB gun or an airsoft gun. So, it looks like he might have a flip-up sight. But there's just one flip-up sight. There's not another one to be able to sight it through. And that, I don't know. That could be what this is. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what this could be other than it's a flip-up sight. It's what it looks like. So to have iron sights, you need the front sight and a rear sight. So I don't know if this was going to be his front sight or if it was going to be his rear sight and then his front sight fell off somewhere. I have no idea. Going down here, we're looking at the rounds. We got green tips right here. So they like to get things that they see. These people don't, your common street people, they do not go and do a lot of research in the shit, right? They don't know fucking ballistics or anything like that. They see green tips and they associate it with like Call of Duty and other stuff like that. And they see the green tips. They might do a quick Google search on it and see that it's, quote unquote, armor piercing. And they're like, yeah, bruh, armor piercing. Yeah, get those green tips, bruh. But they don't really understand anything about it. They just, what's the word I'm looking for? They're just buying shit or finding shit based off hype, just the looks of it, because other people have it. Like if they see someone else wearing a Michael Jordan jersey and they, it seems popular, guess what? They're going to go find a Michael Jordan jersey because they see other people doing it. They don't think for themselves. They do not look into research or anything about ballistics and whatnot. So they just try and do what other people do. And that's why they have the green tips. Now, with that being said, they are in some ways getting a benefit from using some of these things. But overall, they have no idea what the fuck's going on, which is why you see this guy having this cheap-ass magazine here and a cheap-ass, like, fucked-up-looking rifle. It looks like the AR-15. It's got the AR-15 profile. Probably doesn't know anything about, military spec, match grade, lengths and anything. Probably doesn't know shit about the sight here, what their motivating factor with getting these things is money. This was probably the cheapest thing this cheap motherfucker could get, and he got it. They can't afford EOTechs. They just cannot they just can't do it. They don't go for that stuff. The only way any of them get the high dollar things is if they fucking steal it. So like law-abiding people who leave their guns in their cars and don't have them locked in a safe or anything like that, that's how these people come into contact with high dollar items. These people do not go into gun stores and buy high dollar items. They just don't do it, and they don't spend the money. They ain't got that money. Contrary to how they like to portray themselves, the street thugs, they like to portray themselves as having a lot of money, and it's always funny. They got like a stack of money and they like hold it up against their head like it's a phone. Like I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that one. I haven't figured that one out yet, but they'll hold that stack of money up to their head and they'll take photos with it and talk about how much money they got. But when you look at the stuff that they really have, it's all junk. And case in point, this shit is fucking junk. And obviously, because it didn't work, it fucking it jammed on him. Stupid ass.
Kern County Sheriff's Office detectives investigate any use of deadly force by any member of the department. Their findings have been submitted to the Kern County District Attorney's Office for criminal review. On July 14, 2022, the Kern County Sheriff's Office convened an incident review board examining the use of force in this incident. The use of force in this case was determined to be within policy. Anyone with additional information is encouraged to contact Kern County Sheriff's Office at 66 in this incident. The use of force in the...
Well, no shit, it was fucking justified. Dude tried to fucking kill him with a rifle. There's not much else to say about this video. We'll leave it at this. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.